Life hasn't been easy for guitar legend Carlos Santana. In fact, it's been a long and bumpy road to legendary status for the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, and his real-life story is full of tragedy. Here are some of the things he's had to tough through. Born in southern Mexico, Carlos Santana's family moved to Tijuana when he was 7. He told Rolling Stone his father put him and his brothers to work, selling gum on the street, shining shoes, and eventually singing Mexican folk songs. Showing an aptitude for the guitar, he soon accompanied his bar musician father to gigs in dirt-floored saloons full of shady characters. By age 14, Santana went off on his own, earning $9 a week providing musical accompaniment to strippers. He didn't get a lot of pleasure out of the work, saying, "It's just watching an assembly job. After a while, you learn the most sensual thing is innocence." During this time, Santana says he was abused by an American man who would buy him food, clothes, and toys, and then take him into the US and abuse him. After the man slapped him for watching a woman through a window, Santana explained, "I looked at him for the first time for who he was, a very sick person." Santana's family moved to San Francisco when he was a teenager, but he didn't want to move, nor attend what he perceived as a boring American junior high. Santana recalled to Rolling Stone that he was constantly angry and upset, even refusing to eat.
It was a shock in the heart. It's like I was in this man's world and I come back to junior high school.
Things got even worse when some of his money went missing. He'd saved up a small fortune to pay for immigration papers, only to discover that his mother stole it to pay for his sister's dental work. She left $300 behind, which Santana planned to use to buy a new Stratocaster guitar. When he asked his mother for the $300, she revealed that she'd spent it on rent. Santana was so angry that he took the $20 his mother offered him and went back to Tijuana. He returned to the strip club world until a year later when his estranged family forcibly retrieved him. He said, "They actually kidnapped me, put me in a car." In the spring of 1967, while fronting the Santana Blues Band and still in high school, Santana had gone from busking on the streets of San Francisco to opening for The Who. His work impressed the likes of Steve Miller and blues legend Howlin' Wolf, and both invited Santana's band to open for them on tour. Sadly, the group didn't get the chance because 19-year-old Carlos Santana was diagnosed with tuberculosis. He told Rolling Stone that he spent 3 months in San Francisco General Hospital getting regular penicillin treatments. At one point, he developed an aversion to the drugs, so medical staff started injecting the antibiotics into his rear end. Unable to sit down for weeks, Santana worked with a tutor to finish up his high school education and graduated while hospitalized. The first 3 Santana albums deftly fused jazz, Latin music, and psychedelic rock to create something fresh and popular. The self-titled Santana hit #1 on the album chart and was certified double platinum, while follow-ups Abraxas and Santana 3 did as well or better, going quintuple and double platinum respectively. But when it came time to release album number 4, Caravanserai, in 1972, Santana and his bandmates faced resistance from the record label. It was an almost vocals-free experimental jazz record recorded with an almost entirely new band to reflect Santana's new spiritual side. Columbia Records didn't want to release it, and Santana wrote in his memoir that company president Clive Davis said it would end his career, but it was a top 10 hit. 2 years later, Santana once again earned Davis's ire. The live album Lotus, as originally presented, was a 3 LP set. Citing its commercial risk, Columbia only released it in Japan, killing some momentum for Santana and representing another professional setback. Unless they shelled out for an import, fans couldn't buy it in the US until a CD reissue in 1991. Columbia Records dropped Santana after the release of 1990's Spirits Dancing in the Flesh, his 3rd straight album not to go gold or platinum. The label Polydor released Santana's 1992 record, Milagro, which also flopped. After that, Santana couldn't get a record deal and he couldn't record anywhere without a contract. In 1997, after the death of his musician father, Santana found that even listening to music was too much to bear. After a mourning period, he finally felt ready to try again. His wife at the time, Deborah King Santana, suggested that he reconnect with Davis, then an executive at Arista Records. The result was Supernatural, one of the most significant comeback albums in pop history, a 1999 collection of collaborations between Santana and young pop and rock stars. It sold 13 million copies in the US and won 8 Grammy Awards. Santana probably wouldn't have his storied, successful career without a well-timed big break from Bill Graham. The powerful manager and concert promoter convinced Woodstock's organizer to book a slot for Santana's band. The group gave an electrifying performance.
We were in this helicopter, and I never seen so many. It was like an ocean of hair and teeth and arms.
Within a year, they were topping the charts. Graham and Santana remained close until Graham's tragic death in November 1991 in a helicopter accident in Vallejo, California. Graham was 61. Santana played through his grief at a memorial concert in San Francisco. Another friend, legendary trumpeter Miles Davis, died just 2 months before Graham did. Santana said in a 1992 interview with the Charlotte Observer, "They sharpened my tenacity, they sharpened my convictions." Santana and his ex-wife Deborah King went through a lot of ups and downs. They married in 1973 and had 3 children. Partners in business as well as life, they opened a small chain of Mexican restaurants, established a charity called the Milagro Foundation, and in 1994, King restructured and saved her husband's finances. But Santana wasn't always the most faithful husband. Deborah told the San Francisco Chronicle that after their children were born, Santana was sleeping with people on the road. Santana admitted his infidelity in his memoir and publicly apologized for his indiscretions. But a little over 2 years later, Deborah filed for divorce. Santana moved on, and in 2010 proposed to Cindy Blackman, the drummer in his band. After his divorce, the guitarist's life grew alarmingly dark. Santana seriously entertained thoughts of ending it all, and in 2008, he told Rolling Stone that he'd attempted to take his own life 7 times. Not only did the failure of his marriage upset him, but so did lingering memories of the regular abuse he suffered in his youth. Santana credits his faith for helping him out of that very low place. He told Plain Truth, "You have to go through the darkest night of the soul to get to the brightest light of the day." Forgiveness, man. Forgiveness is incredibly liberating. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK.